Good morning and welcome to today's episode of My PI Dream. Today is day four of the construction phase out at Villa FELIZ. And today, I think the main agenda again is going to be digging out those mahogany root stumps. But there might be some assistance today if we're lucky. If my contractor was successful with getting permission to bring heavy equipment onto site today, we might be able to actually bring one of the Caterpillar kind of the vehicles out there, actually do some earth movement and maybe assist with some of those root extractions. I'm hoping we're going to be lucky on that. So, other than that, as always, there are so many things that might pop up during the day, so maybe we'll be surprised at some other activities other than the actual earth movement. So, without further delay, let's get today's video underway. Morning, Michelle. How are you today? Just heading out to the site. Yep. Hi, good morning. How are you today? Hey, good morning. So anyway, I just got done talking with the guard, as I do every morning. I come on site, and when I come through the front gate, I have a wonderful discussion with the guard. He gives me all the updates. He gives me the scoop on what's happened while I wasn't here. And the scoop for today is my architect already notified the site and did the coordination yesterday. As I told you, they are planning on bringing in a backhoe to do some of the excavation, and so that's what they are doing this morning. They're in the coordination of it actually getting the backhoe heavy equipment on site. The guard told me that it was originally planned, it was supposed to be here by 7:30. It is now 8:15. And the guards are like, I don't know, he's supposed to be here at 7:30. It'll get here when he gets here. And it could be because, if you remember, I mentioned that they have a trucking ban in downtown Lipa. So I don't know where the backhoe is actually coming from. And if the backhoe is coming from the other side of town, he's actually not going to get through the middle of town until around after 9 o'clock. So it doesn't matter to me because as long as we have the heavy equipment, it's going to save a lot of time and energy and resources, I believe, in the long run to get this done, and we can be moving forward a lot faster. So something I'd like to talk about this morning as I'm walking into the job site, because I find this is a great opportunity to actually discuss with you all about some of the things that are going on around here, is the fact that you know, if you've been following my videos, that I am in the process of trying to find transportation so I can stop using these for my day-to-day transportation needs, which of course it's really healthy for me, but not all the time. So instead of doing the jeepneys and the tricycles and the buses, I'm looking for a vehicle. So also, you know that I'm looking for a truck so that I can get materials transported back and forth from some of the supply houses if I have the time to actually go there myself. Well, anyway, one of the viewers had a question about a comment that I made about there's a problem, a countrywide problem with LTO registrations in the Philippines. Now, if you look at yesterday's video, you'll see that I answered the question, and I put some of the references and specific information of a memorandum that the LTO, the Land Transportation Office, which is where you actually get your driver's license and you register your vehicle and anything that has to do with vehicle transportation in this country, that's where you do it. So there's been an ongoing problem with the when you're trying to purchase a new car, and and you're trying to, what happens is the car dealerships, and it doesn't matter whether it's a new car or a used car, you're required to have 2 documents inside your car at all times. One of them is an OR, an original receipt from the LTO office, and the other one is a CR, a certificate of registration. You have to have these 2 documents. It's like, say like in the United States, we're always required to have the registration of the car that has the information about who the owner of the vehicle is, and that you paid your taxes or whatever and stuff like that, and your insurance. Those are the 2 documents, license and insurance in your car. Well, over here you have to have your OR and CR inside your car, from what I understand. And so the process is, if you're buying a car, you can do it yourself, or one of the convenience factors that some of the dealerships do is they actually, for you as part of your purchase, they will go to the LTO in your behalf and proxy for you, and actually do the processing of the paperwork for the CR and the OR for you. Well, there's been an issue that's come up over the years, and what's been happening, and there's a lag, and I don't know if it has to do with bureaucracy or what, or somebody is dragging, or maybe both of the participants are dragging, the dealership and the LTO. But there's been a problem with once the paperwork is submitted, it getting back in time, because most of the time you buy a vehicle, you want good morning. Most of the time you want to go in and you want to pick up your vehicle as soon as possible after you've paid for your vehicle. Good morning. How are you this morning? So anyway, you want to get your vehicle as quick as possible. So what the dealerships have been doing is they have been releasing the vehicle to people. Good morning. They've been releasing the vehicle to people prior to those 2 documents coming out, and so people have been driving around with their car that they just purchased without the required documentation inside the car. And in the past, as long as you had like your temporary license on the back, they've been kind of letting it go, but they're starting to do a crackdown now. And the LTO actually sent a memorandum out. It was like a hardline memorandum to all the dealerships, and it said, as of this specific date, and I think it says date in February of this year, 2017, they said that no registration, no travel policy that they have right now, which basically means you are not allowed to release the vehicle to the purchaser until they have those 2 documents inside there. Now the process for doing all this, between the dealership filling out all the paperwork, which is like 4 or 5 days worth of the dealership doing the preparation, then the paperwork being submitted to the LTO, them doing their paperwork, which takes a week or so. So by the time you get it back, we're talking anywhere between 2 to 3 weeks. So don't expect, if you're going to buy a new car over here, or even a used car, don't expect that, like, to be able to do this all in one business day. It's going to take some time, so you have to be prepared for something like that. So again, if you want to check the references, I actually have the memorandum information on yesterday on episode 3 of FELIZ, the house building project, and so check that out if you're interested. So something I didn't bring up yesterday when I did the tour. Actually, I'm going to go a different way. I'm going to come up the back way instead of going up around the front of the house. I'm going to come up around this way, which takes us on the back side of the lot. So anyway, something I didn't bring up yesterday was the fact about the deeds and restrictions when I was giving everybody the tour of the development here, was the fact that in the deeds and restrictions there are some protectionary measures for the homeowners here that's unique as compared to what you would normally see in the barrio. In the barrio, Everybody has chickens and roosters, karaoke, music playing at all hours. Well, in a gated community over here, many of them have built into their deeds and restrictions to protect the owners out here, so that they have the peace and quiet that they're actually looking for in their community or their retirement community. And one of the things is the restriction for roosters. So there is no roosters allowed out here. But alternatively, you can have chickens. You can have a maximum of 2. So if you want to have a couple chickens in your yard and have fresh eggs every day, that's pretty cool. And I'm all about fresh eggs every morning, so I might be doing that myself. And there's also some other restrictions as far as the type of animals that you can have. You can't have, even though this is considered farm lots, it's not the kind of farm like you would think of that has sheep and pigs and horses and cows and things like that. So there are restrictions. So basically, when they're talking about what kind of animals you can have on this type of property out here, it's basically restricted to a couple chickens. You can have dogs for your pets. I don't know about cats. I imagine cats are the same. But the thing is, there are rules like you would have in a regular association, say like in the United States, where they can't roam freely around the neighborhood, and it gives protectionism for the folks who are actually living here. So I like that, because I like a quiet community. I mean, that's what retirement is all about. So stumps 4, 5, and 6 now. These are the last 3. So actually moving pretty good. Offhand, I noticed one thing different from yesterday is today we actually have some stakes in the ground. Remember when I was doing the measurement yesterday for the coconut, with the coconuts to show the front of the house? This is new. This is a new stake in the ground, and then back by this tree is another stake in the ground over here. And if you look carefully on both of these, they are approximately 2 meters from the property line, which is this cable over here, this little wire string. And this one right here is approximately 2 meters, which 2 meters, if you remember, I said 2 meters is the restriction for the deeds and restriction for your house from the property line. What you have is a 2 meter easement from the property line to the side of the house. And for any of the property, the building structure with relationship to the street and the sidewalk, you have to have 3.5 meters. It's half a meter, if I'm correct. I believe it's half a meter for the little planting area between your fence and the sidewalk, and you have 3 meters before you can actually touch the front of your house, which that's not going to be an issue, because ours would be way more than 3 meters inside the property on both sides, because the driveway is going to be on one side and we're going to have the front yard on the other. So this area over here. So I don't believe it's going to be an issue. Oh, about 9:35 in the morning right now, so I'm getting a little concerned about the backhoe arrival on site. He's not here yet, and he has about 9 hours worth of work to do in about a 8-hour span that he is only going to be allowed to be on site here. So we actually have a lot to do once he gets here. So hopefully he's on the way. Of course, they have the truck ban, so it's going to take him a little bit longer to get here on site, and the truck ban is until 9 a.m. in the morning. Something that I want to discuss, if you saw me back a little bit earlier when we had the blueprints out on the site, is I want to discuss the matter of your relationship with your builder, architect, and also the importance of being on site. Now, again, I've been working with this architect builder for about 5 years now, so I have a really good working relationship with him. Also, it is very important in my mind that you be here on site if you can, and monitor every stage of the construction process. And it doesn't matter whether, you know, we're in the process right now and they're doing the root extractions of the mahogany trees or anything like that, because at the very beginning they're going to lay out the plot of your property. Now, when you sit down and you look and you define everything on paper, like for your architectural drawings and your blueprints, and how everything's going to be on your lot, you're not really going to see and feel what it's going to be like until you actually get on the lot yourself. So it's really important that you be here. Case in point is this morning. We were looking at the actual blueprints on how it sets on the property. Now, when you're looking on blueprints and on paper, and you see where your street is, and you see where your sidewalk is, and you look at the area around where you're going to have your yard and things like that, well, it might be a little bit different, and today I noticed that it was different. I noticed that from the street, the front of the house, to the street and the sidewalk, the original drawing has it for 6.4 meters from the closest point, which is, as you're looking at the house, the left front corner of the house, to the sidewalk area, to the property boundary. Now, when you look at 6.4 meters, I looked at that and I'm like, wow, we are really close to the street. I don't want to stand on my front porch and be overlooking the street. And it's really, I'm kind of exaggerating a little bit. I mean, 6.4 meters is a little bit, especially in the Philippines, where a lot of houses are built on the street, literally on the street. You walk out your front door and you're walking into the street. So, but these are farm lots, these are bigger lots. So what we did, and luckily I was here at the very beginning of the stage, and when I saw that, I talked with my builder and I said, hey, let's move the entire house back. I said, I gave him my opinion of what I want for the front yard and how close I want to be, and we actually moved it back 3 meters. So now we're at 9.4 meters from the closest corner. It's more over on the other side because the shape of the lot itself isn't exactly rectangular. It's kind of at a little bit of an angle. So one side will have more front yard space, but the closest point is going to be 9.4 meters. And we measured it out, and you could see we were doing the measuring earlier. And that's going to make a tremendous amount of difference. But that is what I am explaining, that you really need to be on site for everything. And that's not going to matter whether it's the excavation of the property where you're going to actually be building the footprint of the house, but it's going to have to do, you're going to catch all these little things that you might have missed before. Maybe you want a service outlet, they call it, where you plug in your appliances, anything electrical. Maybe you want it in a different location after they start building. A light switch. Here in the Philippines, they put the light switches so high. I want it a little bit more traditional to what I'm used to at a lower level in the way it is in the United States. So what I'll be able to do by being here, all those little things before they drill a hole, before they cut a hole in the wall, before they do anything, I will be able to speak with the builder and say, oh, right here, let's make this change now. You can't do that if you're not here. And unfortunately, I spoke with several of the homeowners here already that actually were not around during the actual construction phase of their house. They were in another country working, and they had somebody in their place actually monitoring the site build. And then they came back and they were like, oh, they did this wrong and they did that wrong, and they left it upon somebody else to make those decisions for them. So that's from some of the banana trees around here. The workers will go out and actually cut down some of the fresh bananas, and I hear they're pretty good. And the caterpillar has arrived. Okay, this is great. We've actually got some really good movement going on here now. I'm going to run back to the apartment and get some lunch and then come back out, and this is going to be an all-day activity with the heavy equipment, so we should see a lot of progress today. So anyway, I think this was a really good move, getting the backhoe to come in today. And I was talking with my builder as we were leaving the site. I'm coming home. We need to grab some lunch. But the actual cost of the backhoe is equivalent to about 30 days wages for the 8 laborers that he has out there. So it's about equal, but we're going to be about 30 days ahead in progress. So when I said it's going to take them about 30 days to do what they need to do, he said, yeah, that's about right. So it's a win-win situation, and we're going to actually be on schedule. Maybe even just a little bit slightly ahead of schedule, and at about the same cost. So I think it's going to work out really good. So back at the apartment, if you remember a few days ago when I did the wet market video and I picked up the vegetables and I made a vegetable stew, that came out really good. And what I did was I saved half of the vegetables. I went ahead and chopped them up, and I still have a bunch of the vegetables, and I froze some of the beef. And I'm gonna throw it over into the crock pot, but I'm gonna put a little twist on it today. I picked up some seasoning, and I'm gonna see if it's a little bit spicier than the last time around. So, wish me luck. Okay, lunch is out of the way, and preparation for dinner is cooking. So I should have a good meal tonight when I get back. So off to the jobs. Anyway, I found this looks like a little shortcut through the woods. I'm going to follow it to see if I have a quicker way to get out to the site. So let's see. It's a little path right here, and it kind of goes down this way, and that's the house over there that there actually is the construction. Normally I would walk all the way down there in between all those houses, but let's see where this one takes us. Oh yeah, this is so much better. This is and it ends up right by the bridge over here. As long as we don't see any of those snakes like we killed this morning, I'm okay. Oh yeah, I just saved like 5 minutes worth of walking. I like it. Oh yeah, oh yeah. There's been a lot done since I've been gone. Now, I want to ask you, how long do you think it would have taken 8 of my crew to dig a hole that size right there? So anyway, I want you to look at how much earth has been moved here. You can see we're actually down on one side. Over here, we're actually down around 2.5 meters, because what it is the slot is at a slope. And being that it's at a slope, it's deeper on that side than it is on this side. So the minimum amount that has to be cut on the lower side is at least 1.5 meter, and then the allowance for the concrete foundation underneath the wall. So that's why it's deeper on one. So you can see that the depth and the scope of doing excavation, it's a pretty big leap forward on our moving on our schedule here. Can you imagine 8 of these workers here digging this by hand and doing all of this? So this is basically going to put us ahead. So something I wanted to mention is that we were extremely lucky. The stars lined up for us again on this project by getting this Caterpillar, because the company that actually does the Caterpillar work, this company actually has 15 of these backhoes in their inventory, 14 of which are committed to jobs right now. And this one backhoe right here is actually only available for 2 days before it goes back on, and where they're committed to all 15 of their vehicles. So we got really lucky. All right, now our hole is dug. So I'm the owner of One Big Hole. So we got a lot accomplished today. That's great. So this is the conclusion of a really successful day. Good choice going with the heavy equipment, moving all that soil. I will definitely never regret that. And we got a lot accomplished, and I am extremely happy. Stopped by Michelle's, got half a kilo of rice for dinner tonight to go with that stew that I started at lunchtime. 27 per half kilo. You can't beat that. You know what that means. So anyway, if you enjoyed today's video, please give me a thumbs up, and please share. And if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. And tomorrow's another day, day 5 on the construction site. So we'll see you tomorrow on My PI Dream.